Welcome into the Toyota Lounge, powered by your Front Range Toyota dealerships. This is the DNVR Avalanche pregame show presented by Coors Light and Bet365. Game 2, the Avs have already split in Dallas by winning Game 1. It's a playoff game. I never want to call it a free roll. You want to win them all, but does it feel a little bit like the Avs already accomplished the mission in Dallas?
No, man, there's blood in the water.
Okay.
And that's where, because you've been the best home team in the NHL. You were great at home against Winnipeg. You win this game, you set yourself up to, you've got 2 shots to put a stranglehold on this series.
Yep.
So Eric always talks about it. You want to play short series?
Win the first 2.
This is a great way to do it. Every game is opportunity to get one game closer to your goal. So I don't think there's going to be any sitting back on the laurels. I don't think there's going to be any satisfaction with, oh, we won Game 1, so it's all good. I think that's a post-Game 2 loss attitude of, this could be worse.
Sure.
But going into this game, no. I think it's blood in the water. Just like in Winnipeg, go hunting.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, was it Mikko that talked about it, like even killing? And that's why I say experience matters when you've been there, when you've been in those situations. And the Avalanche, and I'm not comparing them to anybody with their experience. I'm saying their own experiences. They know the difference it can do to, go up on a series 2-0 or being 1-1. It's a big difference. Captain Obvious again here, but at the end of the day, you don't want to have regrets. You don't want to go in there tonight getting on the bus, whether flying home tonight or tomorrow morning, whatever it is. You don't want to get on the plane and have regrets that you didn't leave it all out on the line, because you could do that January 20th, you know what I mean? But not in the second round of the postseasons. And because you can't look back and say, oh, God, we let it slip away there. You got to give it. Now, if it doesn't work out, you lose the game, but you left it all on the line, then so be it, right? It's the playoffs. There's good teams out there. But
yeah,
you just want to make sure tonight you do your best, and you make sure that you try to give your team a chance to get at home, like you said, on home ice up 2-0.
As the Toyota chat is already talking about, Yoel Kiviranta is taking warm-ups, as is Chris Wagner. Usually when the guy's taking warm-ups, you can expect him to play, but it's not confirmed yet. On the other side for Dallas, Mason Marchment draws back into the lineup for them. We were talking about it before we went live. On the physicality side of the game, the Avs kind of crushed Dallas in Game 1.
Yeah, doubled them up.
Yeah. Do you expect that to continue in this series? Can the Avs keep up that level of physicality, or do you think that's going to drop back to normal levels?
No, I mean, every game takes a turn of its own, but I think you have to go, and that's the Avs' identity that that they lacked last year, right? If you compare to last year's playoffs. So obviously the top guys are there, but the Woods and the Coltons and guys like that, they got to keep doing what they're doing, and that's why they were brought in. And I think a guy like Manson has to keep doing what he's been doing, and you have skill, but you have a little bit of everything, and that's what separates the Avs from different teams in this league. And that's why we, us, anybody love this team. You know what I mean? And there's a reason for it. They're well fabricated. Their makeup is outstanding. But they're gonna have to keep going. You know what I mean? You can't just go out there and say, "Oh, we were physical last game. Now we don't need to be physical." There's a reason you won the game. There's a reason that you're up 1-0 on the road. You got to do a little bit of the same, from last game. So I expect them to be as physical as they were last game. Even though Marchman comes in the lineup for them, they're going to be a little more physical. And then as far as Wagner or Kiviranta, who knows? I mean, it doesn't matter. They've already made up their mind. They just don't want to tip their hand or whatever it is, and that's fine. It's all good.
Does look like it's going to be Kiviranta drawing into that third line wing spot. So
there you go.
All right. It's time for the 3 keys of the game. Game 2, but 3 keys. Give me a little 1, 2, 3 action here.
Yeah, let's, we were just talking about the last couple minutes about it. You don't want to fall down 2-0 if you're Dallas, right? So match the intensity. I know it sounds stupid, but it's a big thing, because I always say those are the things you can control. Bad bounce, a bad call by a referee, a soft goal. It doesn't matter. Like anything that is out of your control. The one thing you can control in hockey is your effort. And your intensity obviously is part of that. So if you can just match the intensity, because you know Dallas is going to have a better game. They're going to have a higher level of desperation. They were coming off a high energy, whatever you want to call that, Game 7 high, and then all of a sudden, 48 hours later, and again, that's what we were talking about yesterday. DeBoer was complaining, and but they have to make that switch, Dallas, and they have to make it quick about, hey, we're now in a series against Colorado. We're not against Vegas. And I do believe that their level of desperation is going to be much better than it was last game. So, but you got to do everything under control, right? You don't want to be all over the place, and then you take like a little bit like Woody, right? I mean, AJ, you called it. You said he owes them one. Like that's what I mean by a little bit out of control. That I don't think he meant to do that. It wasn't stupid. It just all of a sudden you're just a little bit out of control, and we know Woody plays out of control a little bit, which is part of his MO, which is fine, but you got to make sure you're careful, and I'm talking about more about like retaliation penalties, and you got to be under control. So no freebies. We always talk about that. Number 2, it's a little bit of the same, but it's the hardest working team is very important. That as much talent as they have, it's the old cliche. If you're the hardest working team out there, you have an unbelievable chance to win because you're better. Your talent is better. Not that Dallas is not good, but Avalanche have more high-end talent. So you want to take a 2-0 lead tonight. It's very important. Each shift, each assignment, each period. One period at a time. We break it down here, us at the DNVR, 5-minute segments in each period. So do that. And then number 3, we talked about it at length yesterday. Expose the hole on their D, right? With what's his name there? Hakanpää not being there.
Yeah, right.
Lundqvist just doesn't play much.
Yep.
And make it a long night for them below the goal line. So you don't want to just always have one and dones and it didn't work on the rush, and then all of a sudden they're breaking out. Make it tough on them. Make them spend time behind their goal line. Overtax their top guys. Finish your checks on them. It sounds stupid, but it does pay off. And then force them into mistakes. Force them into making decisions. If you do that, you should be in a good shape to win that game.
Are we expecting a more competitive game? I know the scoreboard in Game 1 was competitive, but you really had Dallas on the first period and the Avs on the second and third. Are we expecting it to be a little more even tonight? We'll see.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how this is going to go.
Yeah.
I think you get 2 good teams like this. I think the score will be lower.
Okay.
There was each team got a little bit of that hockey randomness that went in their favor.
Yep.
To produce the goals that we saw.
For sure.
So I think some of that will probably be a little
Get filtered out a bit.
I assume that the scoring will. I keep saying this, but
and then it keeps happening.
Like the Avs, especially, this is just the world they live in. They score 4 a game.
Yeah, would anyone be shocked if the Avs put in 5 tonight? I don't think so.
Yeah, yes.
I wouldn't
like
be
we
shocked.
said about Hellebuck, right? No, I know.
I would be.
I know.
Oh, there it is.
Uh-oh.
That series might be over.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked. I would be a bit surprised.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be blown away.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay.
The law of averages says that no, right? I mean, but God, I mean, that's 6 games in a row now that you're like, maybe we're wrong.
It's one of those things where they can keep doing it until they stop doing it, right?
That's the new normal.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I expect a little more of. And that's by watching the games last night. I don't know you guys were, we were watching, obviously texting each other, and even tonight between Carolina and Rangers. I expect the Dallas Stars to develop a little more hatred for the Avalanche. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about show a little bit more anger towards them or not respect them as much.
Don't settle for a 3-shot period.
Well, yeah.
Just stop having so much respect for the Avs.
That's my point. In
this
a good
the
way.
Team standing in the way of your ultimate goal.
Yes, that thing is hard to win.
Get your hate on.
Yeah, the thing in front of you is hard to win, and I think that you have to be uncomfortable sometimes. You have to be comfortable in the uncomfortable, right? So if it's not in you, then you got to bring it out of you, and you have to be a little. It's again. I'm going back. It's not a January 20th night tonight. I mean, it's an important game if you're the Dallas Stars. Again, Avalanche as well. But I'm saying I believe that the Dallas Stars know that, and I think you're going to see a little more hatred towards the Avs tonight.
It took deep into Game 7 for the Stars to get by Vegas after being down 2-0 in that series.
That
Do
Game
they
7
really want to try it again?
Really dragged until Dallas got it tied up 1-1. Or rather, Vegas tied it up 1-1.
Do they really want to try that trick again? It's hard to come back from 2 games to none in a series. It's really hard.
It's not sustainable for human beings to play at that level. I guess unless you're the LA Kings of 2012. They're the only team that's ever really done something like that.
I mean, there's a reason we remember it.
Yeah. We did get Jared Bednar at his morning skate presser, who talked a little bit about that momentum factor. So let's hear from the Avs head coach.
Okay. Val has shown through the course of this playoffs that maybe he's one of the best net front scorers in the league. I mean, we've seen it in the regular season. I'm curious how much work goes behind the scenes, the technique, understanding angles that goes into making that happen. It seems like it's more than just him being a big guy there.
Yeah, I'd say it's significant, no different than any other position on there. Like getting dialed in on exactly the detail of your opposition's penalty kill, how their D handle different situations, even how certain players handle different situations, where he might be able to move to be able to find rebounds. There's some predictability to it from our, umbrella and middleman. So he works in conjunction with those guys, and then on top of that, he's got great skill. He's got good finish. He's big, long, strong in there, so he's hard to get body position on, and he comes up with a lot of those loose pucks.
Megan.
Zach Parise described your game plan as a map that outlines the path to winning, and I wanted to know how you draw up that map, specifically over time, how you found maybe what works to make that path to winning easier to understand for your players.
Yeah, it's video, breaking down not only what helps make us good, but, what we can look for and expect from our opponent. And then it's going through their strengths and weaknesses and sort of grabbing the analytics and the data that supports that. And you look at both, and then I revisit both again, trying to, explain to our guys, different scenarios and what some of our options are when we're on the attack and what we have to be careful of when we're defending. And when they have a real clean and clear understanding of our opposition, then they know how they can best handle some situations, and making sure that they're not getting frustrated. If Dallas is really good at one of them, then we have to find another way to try and exploit them. And I think over the years, it's like you try not to give them too much information, but you want it to be clear and that they have numbers. So they get a lot of numbers and a lot of information still, but we try to stress like certain points in each sort of aspect of our game and lay out that game plan as clear as we can.
Evan.
Kiviranta shed the non-contact there, and then we saw Drouin out there. Is Kiviranta a possibility tonight? And then with Drouin, is he responding well to these first few days on the ice?
Yeah. So Kivi is an option for tonight. Hopefully, we'll see when we get back here this evening. Drew, he's made some really good progress here over the last few days, getting stronger in the gym, feeling good with his rehab and what he's been able to sort of ramp up and do in off the ice. And then yesterday skating for the first time. And obviously joining the group today, that's a quick second step there. So things moving in the right direction with him, but still no timeline.
Jesse.
Coach, not only you guys get the win in game one, I know, I'm sorry. Not only do you guys get the win in game one, but the way you do it, that's could be a big emotional boost. How do you balance trying to carry that momentum from game one while also, Ross was just telling me you guys fully reset and you kind of turn the page on that one?
Yeah, I mean, whenever, it's all about winning this time of year. There's aspects of our game I think we definitely have to be better at going into game two. We know that this is, we're going to see Dallas's best here tonight, right? Second game at home. They'll be much better. I'm confident that we can be better than what we were the other night. So that's our focus. You have to let like I like our guys feeling good about our game, even though it wasn't perfect. I think they got a clear understanding, like we would be better in certain areas, but they can feel good about it. They worked hard, they were highly competitive, they stuck with it, they were resilient. So yeah, you still have to turn the page and let it go and go try and better that performance tonight. That's all we usually focus on.
So there are a few sayings out there that include momentum doesn't go from game to game in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Are you guys on board with that saying, or do you think there is a little something the Avs can take moving from game 1 to 2?
I think by and large it's true, but there are some series where it's not. Oh my gosh, the Colorado Vegas series.
Vegas definitely got up and rolling and never quit.
The Avs, it was really Game 5. The Avs dominated Game 5. They lost it.
Yep.
Gave up 2 in the third, and then the Ryan Graves thing happened. And that's the only one I can think of where you talk about game-to-game momentum.
Really pushing
and
through.
even then, you still do the Game 5 in that series. Goes to show you a team can reset it at any time.
It's true.
So for me, I think Dallas is going to come out and look an awful lot more like the team that we saw in overtime than the team that we saw periods 1 through 3.
I agree with that. I think every game takes a different life of its own, so I think the reset of 48 hours usually between games it's a new day. And the teams that are able to be, again, I go back to Mikko and Bednar, I always talk about it, like even keel. Even keel is an important part of playoff hockey, so you have 48 hours to get back, to reset, to get back to normal, and then try to create momentum yourself. And I think in-game momentum is so hard to freaking stop. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like once it goes, I mean, it is such a powerful freaking force of whatever you want to call that. It's not a force of nature, obviously, but it's just nuts. Like it's there. It's sometimes when you've been through it, you're like, oh my god, you don't know what happened, and you're like, are you kidding me?
It
You know?
takes something like a Miles Wood breakaway
That's
to
it.
break
that's what
that
I mean.
momentum.
You got to
know?
break it, and that's why you break it down to like, oh, never lose 2 games in a row, right? You know, for all those reasons. But during in game, you know, you don't want to lose a period. And trust me, guys break it down, and that's why I always say that even or better after 1 on the road. It's all good. You know, it's very important to break it down and to win the little battles because it's such a long freaking night when you think about it. So it's important to momentum. You want to, when you get punched in the face, you just got to punch back. It just is. You can't wait because sometimes it's too late.
All right. Who's going to eat? Who's going to go to Circle K tonight for the Avs, and who's going to eat the good snacks?
Again, I'm going first because I've been going first and they've been winning, so we're going to keep it going this way. Not that I'm superstitious. I'm going again with Kale. I mean, Kale's my Circle K eater of the night, my dog eater. I mean, the guy is on a different planet. So beautiful to watch. He's an artist, and right now he's on a different level, and it's fun. And he carried it from that first series to this one. I do believe there's an inner thing in him, you know, when he plays against, like I said, Fox, Hughes, Iskanen. You know, it's human nature. He'll never tell us because he's too nice. You know what I mean? But and he's too humble. But I do believe. And there's a will to win in there too. He's one of those guys, and again, he's part of the core. He committed long term here, and has won, wants to win again. So I do believe he sees this game tonight as a key opportunity. And like AJ said, you know, if things don't go well and they lose the game, then they can use that line for post game, one-liners. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But in the meantime, when you're in it, he's my Circle K dog eater tonight because he's one of the best players in the world.
Agreed. I'm going with Val Nichushkin.
Shit.
Well, it's not like he's not scoring, man.
I know we just said momentum doesn't go from game to game, but Val has goals in 6 straight playoff games here. He just watched Zach Hyman pick up 2 to pass him
I know.
for the top scorer in the playoffs right now.
Shaq Hyman.
But this isn't even really about the goal scoring for me from Val. The goal scoring is great. I'd love to see him get more. He's had a lot of pretty free goals.
Yeah.
I want to see the train
Yeah.
version of Val Nichushkin show up, be a power forward that we know he's capable of being, and really take it to Dallas. Make them work hard, or rather outwork them in that offensive zone and really put some pressure on that team. I think Val is certainly with the ups and downs we've gotten from Mikko so far these playoffs. Val is kind of that unique, big-bodied guy that can do that for the Avs right now.
Love it.
AJ?
I like this. I'm going with Jack Johnson too. That's awesome.
He was maybe their best D in overtime. So
Yeah, he had his moments. God, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna continue with Nathan MacKinnon, man.
That's fair too.
What?
I think there's another level.
How many more levels can there be?
I don't think he's too far away
How many more
from
levels
it.
can there be?
I don't think he's too far away from it, but I want to see just a little more.
See a little bit of KO's going to win the Conn Smythe, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I want a 4-point night. That's it. That's what I want to see. Give me a 4-point night. Give me a good old 2-2.
I'm here for it. There's no secrets. It's the Avs stars that are going to put the team on their back, right?
Yeah.
Especially throughout this series against
That's all they're
Dallas.
built.
So go make sure you're getting your game day snacks with Circle K. Sign up for their Inner Circle Rewards program today and get 25 cents off a gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. And use that QR code on screen, you can get up to 5 free Polar Pops from Circle K and amazing game day snacks, including every 6th of any item free when you buy at Circle K. Look, I relate this series a little bit to chess boxing. The system matchup, particularly against Pete DeBoer, can obviously be a little bit slow and plotting. You're setting up your fence of pawns. You have some moving pieces like your knights and your rooks. But at the end of the day, you still got to go play that boxing match. And when you get punched in the mouth, sometimes plans fall apart.
Isn't that Mike Tyson's greatest quote?
Yeah.
Everybody has a plan till you get punched in the mouth.
It's a good one.
I thought you meant I'll eat your
Accurate.
children. You know,
Also a good quote.
Wrong one.
From a guy who said a lot of crazy shit. It's pretty profound.
Has some meaning to it, for sure. Let me ask you this. What is more important? That intensity level we talked about earlier in the show, or the system game plan?
Huh.
Intensity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything else can be adjusted, but
All right.
the give a shit, the effort, the intensity, that's an innate thing. You either have it that day or you don't.
Sure.
And if you don't have it, I always say, if you don't have it, sometimes you just don't. You don't have your legs. Like, it shit happens. That's anybody. You know what I mean? But what you do at that time, then you revert back to your systems and to your simplicity of your game. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I think balls and intensity and it's so important. It's so important. And especially we're watching every game and it's a dogfight out there. You got to have it. If you don't have it, first of all, you're in the wrong sport and you're on the wrong team and you're not going to last long. So I don't think it's a problem for the Avalanche, though.
All right. Feeling confident about it. Let's get into my bets. I'm going with Eric's Eater on this one. The DNVR boosted bet. A Cale Makar point and the Avs to win at plus 200. You're not going to get odds like that on a bet like that very often. So
I thought for sure when we saw that today it was wrong. And it was like, that's got to be a Cale goal, right?
Nope, it's a point.
Or a power play point. No, just a point. All right.
Go do it.
Good
Make
luck
sure you
to
get
them.
in with Bet365. Get on our bet or bet on whatever you feel. If you're like Phantom in the Super Chat and you're a Stars fan, go bet on the Stars. Thank you for the $2, Phantom. Not going to lie, that was a crazy comeback on Monday. Good luck, plus let's go Stars. I don't agree with you, sir, but I do wish you good luck. Go do it with Bet365 if you want to put your money where your mouth is, no matter who you're a fan of. When you do gamble with them, make sure you're 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And, of course, if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. And be sure to sign up with that DNVR365 code when you join Bet365. Any final thoughts here as we're approaching a few minutes from puck drop? Anything you guys want to touch on that I haven't hit yet?
I mean, I just think this is going to be a really good version of the Dallas Stars.
I think you're going to see a really good game tonight. I really do.
And I'm a little nervous.
You
That's
should
good,
be.
'cause
That's
you're
what the
always
playoffs are
That's
for.
good.
This is not the playoff nerves. This is I don't think we're going to have a very good night nerves.
That's all right.
Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you think that and you have a great night. You never know.
Yeah.
Whatever happens in this game, join us watching it. We got a watch along coming your way in about 10 minutes here. And if you don't join that, at least join us for post game where we'll break down whatever happens, good, bad, great, ugly, you name it. We'll have something for you. We appreciate all y'all hanging out for pregame, and we will see you on the watch along in a few minutes.
We all silly like the mayor.